Ah, sorry. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Freddy Always. In today's episode, obviously you saw the title, and I'm going to be talking about how I paid off $30,000 of debt. You know, paying off $30,000 is not easy, but it's very possible. And this video, I'm going to tell you real quickly how I ended up getting in $30,000 in debt, because that was definitely, like, I think it's very important, right? So I was about 20 years old when I got into my second job. It's literally a blessing. I applied, and a week later I got the job, and the same month I got this apartment here, and everything was good. But it was the first time that I had myself a adult job. My first job, I was getting paid about $15,000, and this new job was paying $30,000. But guess what? I went from paying a measly $200 a month to my sister when I was staying with her to paying the rent, the light, the water, the food, the gas, the insurance, all these things. And now I have to manage what God gave me, which was all this responsibility. And you know, when I was getting paid about $30,000 a year at that time, at 20 years old, which was so good, because at that time the medium income for most people was about $50,000, and that's between two people. I was making $30,000 just by myself, and at first it was good. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money, but because I just threw everything into this place. Every extra money I had, I would get furniture. I'll get this TV. I'll get the forks, the spoons, all these things, and I didn't have no extra money for myself. Fast forward about 4 years later, I was 24 years old, and I was getting to this dilemma where they were starting to raise the rent where I live at. Not only that, but inflation. Everything was getting more expensive. The gas, the food, everything was getting more expensive. So I get to this point where I'm like, oh, I need to figure out what to do, because I can't be stuck at $30,000, because that was where I was getting stuck. I was getting no raises, and I was like, okay, I need to do something different. And at the time I was working nights. I was breaking my back, and the job was good, but I was working nights, and my social life was horrendous. So I decided, okay, I need to figure a way to work days and get paid more. And it was like a answered prayer, because at my job, the truck drivers that work in my company, they were gonna give them a raise to about $50,000. And I was like, okay, this is my end. I need to do this. This is the way. I need to get my CDL to become a truck driver. And about a year later, I grew the cojones to go ahead and get my license. And guys, the thing was that to get that license was about $7,000, because I went to an expensive and fancy trucking school, and it was about $5,000 if you wanted to pay cash, and about $7,000 and plus interest, so maybe about $8,000. And so I had to do it. I had no other choice. It's the only school that I knew I could trust to learn, because I had other friends that actually got their license there too. So I get it. I went to school about 2 months in weekends, and I finished the school. It was great. I got out. Now I have $8,000. My income went up significantly, about 66%. It went up. It was great. It was amazing. But now I have $8,000 in debt. So I'm driving now to work during the mornings to get my route done and stuff. And about a month into it, my transmission goes out in my first original car, which was an Acura TL. You probably see a picture right here, or maybe here. And that car, my transmission went out, and I'm like, dude, I just got this job. I don't want to get fired. That's number one. And I have no money. I don't have nothing. I have nothing to my name. And I was like, okay, so I have to go to a dealership, maybe. I had no clue what I was gonna do. So I ended up going to a dealership, and I spoke to the salesman at the place, and I was like, dude, I don't have no money down. I have my credit is at 650, and I cannot pay more than $300 a month. Hey, listen, this is how much I make now a year. And he's like, dude, you just started that job. I'm like, yeah, but that's what I make a year. Can you do something for me? And he's like, oh, well, I'll see. So we look at cars. We see this car and it was too expensive. I see this car is too expensive. I see my car and I was like, okay, I think this is the cheapest, nicest car that you have. And I was like, there's how much, $13,000. He's like, yeah, $13,000. I was like, cool, okay, let's do the paperwork and let's see what we could do. So we go to the back, we look at the paperwork, and he's like, dude, all right, so for what you want and what you want and what we can give you, you're gonna pay $317 a month, but your interest is gonna be about 22%. And I was like, at the time, I didn't understand finances, so I was like, oh, I guess that's okay. And I ended up going to, I signed the paperwork, I take the car, and I didn't realize that, dude, it went from $13,000 to $22,000 because of the interest. And I was like, oh, now I got $8,000 here, and I got about $22,000 here with the car. So I was like, oh, okay, now what? So I was like, okay, my focus is I need to pay it off because I cannot be living with $30,000 of weight in my bag. So I was like, okay, so how am I gonna do this? As I said in the video previous to this one, I was really obsessed with YouTube. That was my escape. And I saw so many videos of people talking about finances and how to get out of debt. And that's what you do. When you want to learn something, you go to YouTube or Google. And my generation, I guess, it was go to YouTube to figure out how to pay off this money. And I learned that all you had to do, just focus, stop paying money, stop spending so much money on food, stop spending money on going out, stop going crazy with your money, and be responsible. And that's all you had to do. So I was like, okay, but how do I do that? I know how to do it. It's easy to say like to do it, but what is the plan? So I started following this guy called Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey is you could say a radio personality, a YouTube personality now. And his thing was, dude, money is emotional. It's hard to pay so much, a lot of debt, but it is possible. There's a proven plan. And so, what is the proven plan? Well, you save some money for an emergency, about $1,000. Then you focus on paying off your debt, smallest to largest. Why smallest to largest? Because when you pay off the little ones first, there's like small little victories to amplify how you pay off the next debts. So the snowball effect is technically, so imagine you're up in the mountain, you have a small snowball, and you throw the snowball down. And then as it goes down, it catches more snow and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. In that representation, you pay off the smallest debt and you pay the minimums in these big ones, and you pay a lot extra on the little one, and you pay that off. And when you have extra money from that payment that you were having, you throw it to the next one, and it gets the bigger payment to that next one. Then when you pay off the second biggest one, you take all that money that you're paying on that one and you join it together, and you start paying off the big one. So it makes it like you're winning. It's like a video game. So that's what I did. I ended up paying my credit cards first because I had about, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000. And then I was like, okay, I could do this. And I started looking at my school loan, and I was like, okay, so how do I do this? Do I pay the regular payment plus more? And then I learned something interesting where if you want to pay off debt and it's like paying off your credit card or your car or your house, you don't pay more payments. What you do is pay more principal. So you pay your monthly payments like regular, but then you go in the app, or you call them and you're like, hey, listen, I'm gonna pay extra, but I'm gonna pay extra to the principal. And they were like, okay. And that principal payment is going directly to the payment. It's not going into interest. So you're literally making a dent when it comes to paying off debt. So I started with the credit cards. I started paying. Then I started taking that money and throwing it towards my school loan. And literally, I ended up paying that about a year, which was a big win. It was amazing. And all I had was my car. Something weird happened after that. After I paid off my school, I was like, okay, I started going to church and I met some friends, and I was like, okay, I want to enjoy that money that I'm making now. I paid off this big chunk of debt, and I'm just gonna take off this year and pay off the minimum of the car and just hang out with my friends and enjoy the money that I'm making. And which was good. I ended up going to Japan. I ended up in having a good time in that year. But then I was like, okay, now it's time to get serious. In the third year of paying off debt, I focused and I was like, okay, now it's time to get serious. So I took the regular car payment, which was what, 317. So I would pay the 317, and then I would go and try to pay more into the principal. And that's what I did. I would pay $600 more, $20 more, $1,000 more. And guys, in about 3 years, I ended up paying off $30,000. And I'm telling you right now that it's possible. Anybody can do it. I don't even come from a very highly educationally financial home, and I did it. You know, there's so many resources online on Facebook that can tell you how to do this. It's not rocket science. It's literally taking your money and then paying it off. And guys, your income is the biggest tool that you'll have to become wealthy. You know, to save money, to invest money, to have a better life in the future for your kids and for you, for your family. So I recommend that as soon as you can, pay off debt, save money, invest, and do all these good things, because we only have a certain amount of time in this life. And you don't want to have this weight of debt in your back. You know, pay it off, retire early, enjoy your money, enjoy your family and your life. So guys, this is how I paid off $30,000. And if you have $30,000, you can have $5,000, you can have $40,000 or even more. And guys, it's very simple. Pay it off and live in less than what you make and enjoy your life. Have a good time. Thank you for watching this video. Guys, comment and follow me on Instagram. Follow me here. Subscribe. Do all the good stuff. So, if anything, guys, talk to you later. It was good. It was good chatting with you guys. So, bye bye.
Haha, sorry.